Think you know God of War? Let's put that ego to the test. I've played through all 10 games, yep, even the weird ones, and this is my totally biased, brutally honest ranking. Got a different take? Drop it in the comments, and if you enjoy chaotic opinions, don't forget to like and follow for more. 1. God of War 2. God of War 2, 2007 struts in like, hold my ambrosia, I'm about to flex. Kratos kicks off as the new God of War, only for Zeus to pull a shady betrayal, yoinking his powers and yeeting him to the underworld. The story's sharper than a freshly forged blade of chaos, with a juicy Zeus Titan backstory laying bricks for the trilogy and characters like the Barbarian King, Icarus, and Perseus stealing scenes. New tricks like grappling, wall sliding, and a rage mode you can toggle make combat slicker than a Pegasus feathers, fixing the OG's pacing hiccups. Boss fights, cinematic banger-stripping Icarus wings mid-air, or sprinting across Atlas's giant bod feels like starring in a myth. The Sisters of Fate fight, set in the past, is a wild twist, but the minion swarm before Clotho was so savage it nearly cost me my monitor. I'm not trash, promise. Zeus's finale shows he's a godly beast, and Athena's sacrifice is a cliffhanger for the ages. Puzzles like the Pegasus ride and that killer soundtrack, chef's kiss. This gets an AA glow-up that hooked me like a harpy on a leash. 2. God of War, Betrayal. Imagine Kratos, the freaking god of gods, stuck in a 2007 mobile game that looks like it was coded in someone's mom's basement. Welcome to Betrayal, the franchise's black sheep that tripped face first into a pixelated dumpster fire. The story has Kratos hunting Argos, Hera's pet, in a revenge-fueled tantrum, but it's a jumbled mess with less depth than a kiddie pool, like a prophecy written in crayon and smudged by a toddler. No sound except combo effects that screech like a banshee auditioning for a metal band, making you want to yeet your headphones into orbit. Playing on 2025 emulators? Good luck, it's like fighting a Hydra blindfolded on a unicycle during a blackout. The 2D retro vibes give me zero warm fuzzies, but I'll toss a coin for cramming QuickTime events onto a flip phone bold move for the Nokia era. The levels and animations tried, but this feels like Kratos got drunk and stumbled into a knockoff arcade. This one's an easy D, don't even think about defending this pixelated tragedy. 3. God of War. God of War 2018 is a reinvention that hits harder than a Leviathan axe lodged in a dragon's skull. Santa Monica turned Kratos from a Greek murder hobo into a grizzled Norse dad, and it's a tearjerker that flipped the franchise on its head. Kratos and Atreus' quest to scatter Faye's ashes pits them against Baldur, a villain you love-hate because he can't feel pain, echoing Kratos' old wounds. Kratos' growth coming clean to Atreus about his godhood and wrestling with past Synsis soul-crushing, especially when Atreus' godly ego goes rogue, prompting Kratos' iconic "Who I was is not who you will be." Open, world vibes let you backtrack for secrets, with sidekicks like Mimir, the sassy talking head, dropping lore and laughs. Axe and Blades combat is so smooth, every throw feels like a Viking flex-off. The team dodged disaster, Sony's bigwig called early builds horrifying, and Christopher Judge's voice acting deserves a shrine in Valhalla. Puzzles like Niflheim's Mist Maze and side quests like dragon-freeing Admeat. Let me sob for a sec, this gets an S, boy. A masterpiece with a story that's eternal. 4. God of War, Ascension. Ascension, the 2013 prequel, is the Greek saga's awkward middle child, like Kratos trying to bake cookies and accidentally summoning a Cyclops to a tea party. The story Kratos breaking his blood oath to Ares after being tricked into killing his family starts clunky, and the graphics gave me a headache like I'd stared into Helios's noggin too long. But once my brain adjusted, the combat was smoother than a Spartan's war cry. The new grab ability lets you lasso enemies with the blades, yanking them from the sky or pinning them while you brawl, turning hack and slash into a strategic beatdown. The Fury's opening fight is a cinematic roller coaster, with the stage morphing like a nightmare on steroids, and the amulet of Ouroboros' time-freezing tricks make puzzles and fights feel like you're cheating fate. Bosses have a creepy Resident Evil vibe, but the story's thinner than a Minotaur's patience, and the Furies are as compelling as a wet sock. Those pre-boss minion waves? Harder than the bosses, making me curse louder than Kratos at a family reunion. This one's a B gameplay carries like a Spartan champ, but the story's napping on the job. 5. God of War, Ragnarok and Valhalla. Ragnarok and its Valhalla DLC are my ride or die, and I'd brawl Odin in a parking lot to prove it. Launched in 2022, Ragnarok kicks off with Thor and Odin, voiced by straight-up legends, throwing hands like it's a divine bar fight, launching Kratos and Atreus' quest to face the end of the world. Thor's a mirror of Kratos' old rage, a god's pawn, while Odin's slimy Zeus energy nudges Kratos toward his dark side. The Heimdall fight, with that smug jerk and his slick spear, is a wake-up call. Kratos almost goes full monster, but the Norns Returns chat drops the bomb. Fate's not locked. Q. I have been falling back into my old ways. Sparing Odin and saving Asgardians proves he's evolved. Valhalla 2023 free DLC slaps with roguelike trials, classic weapons like the Blade of Olympus, and a young Kratos skin that had me screaming like a fanboy. Kratos' redemption as a god of hope with "I chase redemption I know I can never deserve" is the boldest character glow-up ever. Gameplay polishes 2018's vibe with crisp combat and berserker fights so brutal I cave to story mode, no judgment. Soundtrack, voices, visuals, god tier. Side quests like Freya's arc hit the feels. Rank it below. This had me cackling in rage, quitting its S tier, the undisputed GOAT of God of War. 6. God of War, A Call from the Wilds. Picture this, you're hyped to chainsaw through Draugr, dreaming of Kratos, level carnage, and then BAM! You get a text-based Facebook Messenger game. A Call from the Wilds is like ordering a tangent-sized buffet and getting a single, moldy breadcrumb served with a side of, "What even is this?" Dropped in 2018 to tease the reboot, you play as Atreus, tapping out text in a Norse story so barebones it's practically a skeleton. Zero gameplay, just dialogue choices that feel like a choose-your-own-adventure book scribbled by an intern who forgot what epic means. It drops vague hints about Kratos' future, but it's so cryptic it leaves you more confused than an oracle trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. You can't even play it now unless you're Indiana Jonesing through dusty YouTube clips, and those are about as thrilling as watching a slime take a nap. Santa Monica gets a participation trophy for this quirky hype stunt, but this is a forgettable blip, less exciting than a minion brawl with no quicktime events. Spill your opinion below. I'm slapping a big fat D on this one, sorry. Not sorry, it's a snooze fest. 7. God of War. The 2005 OG God of War is a Spartan gut punch-raw, ruthless and iconic, like Kratos after a bad day. You're hurled into Kratos' vendetta against Ares with no loading screens, just a narration so epic it could wake a titan, and instant action that was pure wizardry for its time. The dynamic camera screams Hollywood, making fights and cutscenes feel like a blockbuster, but some Oracle puzzle angles were so wonky I nearly launched my controller to Narnia. Combat's brutal even on normal first-timer struggles, send help, and endless minion waves tank the pacing, like someone said, "Let's make this longer," with grunts. Abilities like Poseidon's Rage mix things up, and underwater puzzles are a chill breather, but boss fights are button mashy by 2025 standards. Kratos, as a heartless anti-hero, obsessed with revenge, is magnetic, but his family's death is rushed, leaving feels on the table. Athena and Ares pop off, but the Oracle's monotone and bland sidekicks fizzle. Still, this birthed the legend. This earns a low 8, spark the chaos, but it's a bit rusty. 8. God of War, Ghost of Sparta. Ghost of Sparta, the 2010 PSP sequel to Chains of Olympus, had me hyped for another handheld slayer, but it's like craving a tangent-sized mythical burger and getting a soggy kebab that falls apart in your hands. The story dives into Kratos' past, chasing his kidnapped brother Deimos, but it's forced. Why didn't Kratos look for him before he was flexing God mode? Deimos' death is a cliche so predictable it could star in a soap opera, and boss fights like Thera Lava Chick and Thanatos, Mr. Death, are as forgettable as unbuttered toast. Gameplay recycles Chain's mechanics with smooth controls, and the arms of Sparta, block, snipe, slay, add some flair, later popping up in Valhalla like a cool callback. The Bane of Thera spices up damage, but most brawls are mid, and the story leaves you with more plot holes than a Cyclops target practice range. Why hype Deimos just to yeet him? PSP visuals and music are crisp, and fighting with Deimos for, like, 30 seconds is neat, but this fades faster than a forgotten Oracle's Yelp review. After grinding this to dust, I'm giving it a sits, a letdown with a side of ouch. 9. God of War 3. God of War 3 2010, remastered 2015, is Kratos at his rage-fueled, Olympus-wrecking Pika visual buffet that feels like you're drop-kicking gods in 4K. The story's straightforward. Kratos wants Zeus's head on a pike, and no titan or deity stopping him. It's light on feels, but Pandora's daughter vibes add a tiny spark, especially when Kratos plays Protector. The Poseidon opener climbing Gaia while brawling a sea monstrous chaos incarnate, and the Kronos fight Shang across a titan's body, dodging fridge-sized fists, and getting eaten is the series' most holy crap moment. Hades' underworld drip and weapons are fire, but the Cerberus fight with its exploding demon dogs had me rage-quitting harder than Kratos at a family therapy session. Those pups are Satan's furballs. Gameplay's buttery with tight controls, side-screen quicktime events that don't break your focus, and sound design so crisp it's like Zeus himself mixed it. Puzzles like the Guitar Hero riff are a hoot, and Helios, Hermes, and Hercules bring gore galore, but the story's thinness holds it back. This snags and saw cinematic monster that swings hard, even if the plot's on a diet. 10. God of War, Chains of Olympus. Chains of Olympus is a PSP diamond that proves you don't need a fancy console to drop a titangent-sized haymaker. Dropped in 2008, it blew my mind with music and visuals so good I forgot I was on a handheld like, is this allowed to slap this hard? The story starts slow, with Kratos playing errand boy for the gods, but it hits an emotional nuke when he ditches his powers to hug his daughter Calliope in Elysium, only to snatch them back to stop Persephone from torching the underworld. That moment shoving Calliope away to save her soul? Peak Kratos tragedy had me ugly crying like a baby Cyclops. The grab ability one-shots low-level goons, making archer swarms less annoying, and animations are so fluid every slash feels like a death ballet. Zeus's gauntlet is absurdly OP, letting you smash foes like a god on a sugar rush, and even bugs. Kratos flying sans wings, lol add charm. Puzzles are solid, though some drag, but PSP limits can't dim this star. Santa Monica gambled and won. I may be picky, but this gets an A for making my PSP sing like a Valkyrie. And that's the Spartan Showdown. From text message duds to god-tier epics, God of War has taken us on a wild ride through Greek rage and Norse feels. Think I'm off the mark? Rank them yourself in the comments, let the chaos continue. For Sparta!